Tonight, or tomorrow morning, or sometime this week, you're going to drop down and do a push-up. You've done thousands of them, maybe tens of thousands. And the strange truth is this. Your body has been able to do this movement correctly for millions of years, but your brain has been talking you out of it the whole time. That sounds like an exaggeration. It isn't. The push-up is not a modern invention. It's a fossil, a leftover of something your ancestors needed long before gyms, before mirrors, before anyone cared what a chest was supposed to look like. And the version most people do today is quietly missing the one piece that made it work in the first place. So why does almost everyone get it wrong? And why does your body let you get away with it? Start with the shoulder blade. Most people never think about it during a push-up. They think about arms. They think about chest. The shoulder blade just sits there along for the ride like a passenger. But it isn't a passenger. It's the engine. In 1944, 3 researchers named Inman, Saunders, and Abbott ran a study that changed how scientists understood the shoulder. They filmed the joint in motion and discovered something nobody had properly measured before. The shoulder blade doesn't stay still when the arm moves. It glides, it rotates, it travels across the rib cage in a coordinated rhythm with the arm bone, a rhythm they called scapulohumeral rhythm. Without that gliding motion, the shoulder joint physically cannot move through its full range. Now, think about a push-up. When you lower your body toward the floor, your shoulder blades are supposed to spread apart, away from your spine. When you push back up, they're supposed to pull together again. That spreading and pulling is not optional. It's not a bonus movement for advanced athletes. It's the mechanism that lets your chest muscles lengthen and shorten through their complete range. Most people never let that happen. They pin their shoulder blades in place like they're trying to hold a book steady on their back, and then they just bend their elbows up and down. It feels stable. It feels controlled. It feels like exactly what a push-up should feel like, but locking the shoulder blades in place is like trying to swing a door without letting the hinge move. Why would your body default to the wrong version of a movement it's clearly built for? This is where it gets interesting, because the answer isn't really about push-ups at all. It's about your nervous system's obsession with stability over range. A physiotherapist named Vladimir Janda spent decades studying what he called movement patterns, the automatic sequences your muscles fire in without you consciously choosing them. Janda noticed something that shows up again and again in modern humans. When a movement feels uncertain, the brain recruits the muscles that create the most rigidity first, and it recruits the muscles responsible for fine control last, if it recruits them at all. A push-up, to your nervous system, is a small controlled fall. Your face is heading toward the ground. Even if you've done it 10,000 times, some old, quiet part of your brain still treats it as a fall to be managed. And the fastest way to manage a fall is to freeze the joints, not to let them glide. So your shoulder blades lock, your traps take over, your chest, the muscle that was supposed to be doing the work, ends up as a bystander. This is where the story goes back further than gyms, further than modern humans, back to the trees. An evolutionary anthropologist named Susan Larson spent years studying the shoulders of primates, comparing how apes move through branches to how humans move through everyday life. Her research helped show that the human shoulder is unusually mobile compared to most mammals, built with a floating shoulder blade that can rotate and glide across the back in ways a dog's or a horse's shoulder simply cannot. That mobility wasn't an accident, it was survival equipment. Reaching overhead to grab a branch, swinging body weight from one handhold to the next, pushing a heavy stone off a ledge, bracing against a fall. Every one of those actions depends on the shoulder blade being free to move, not locked in place like armor. In other words, the gliding motion your body skips during a lazy push-up is the same motion that once let your ancestors move through a world where a stiff, frozen shoulder blade could get them killed. So here's the strange part. The push-up you're doing wrong isn't wrong because of bad form in some modern, artificial sense. It's wrong because it's ignoring a movement pattern your body spent millions of years refining for survival, and instead defaulting to a stiffer, safer, far less effective version because stiff feels safe to a nervous system that still, quietly, treats every fall as a threat. Try noticing it the next time you do one.